The Okanagan Spring Camp is now in the books, talking to a special guest from the BC Lions and also the BCFC, McLaren. Let's talk about the Lions and junior football, because Andrew Harris kind of paved the way for a lot of guys, and now we see, especially here in Kelowna, we see a few guys going that same direction, the likes of Stephen Dogie, Bobby Davis, Stephen Schott. Do the Lions like that? Are they now open their eyes thanks to Andrew?
Definitely. I mean, those guys that you mentioned are pioneering the way, and Andrew was kind of at the start of it, and you're seeing more and more junior guys getting attention, and deservedly so, because of how we're on the hunt for Canadian talent. So I mean, you have to go everywhere and find it, and junior football has been fantastic for us so far for the last few years, and looking forward to the future. More
attention than CIS players?
I wouldn't say more. It's a different kind of attention, just because a lot of the CIS players obviously have to go through the draft, so their window is a little bit shorter. Whereas the junior guys, you can work with them, you can develop them, you can groom them, and give a little bit more personal attention to them, as opposed to going to an e-camp and waiting for a guy to go through their draft here. So it's a little bit both get good attention, but it's a different kind of attention for junior guys.
The guys that the Lions have looked at, are they at that skill level? Are they at the skill level? Maybe not make the next jump to the CFL team, but at least get invited to a number of different camps like some of these guys have been?
Most of these guys are, and most of them, once they get to the camp, they acclimate pretty quick. And you see a lot of times the leaps and the bounds once they get there, and once they get the coaching and get in that locker room and on that field, you see a lot of them, their learning curve just goes through the roof. And a lot of these guys have the raw talent. It's just they need a little bit more polishing when it comes to their skills and what it is they're doing out there.
How about a guy like Jordan Yes from the VI Raiders, now graduating the junior program? He's been invited to BC Lions Spring a rookie camp and also main camp. Can he crack the roster as a Canadian in a quarterback position?
I mean, I believe he can, and certainly what we've seen, we've liked with Jordan. And I mean, he's a perfect case of a guy we've invited back for a second look because of what he's accomplished, and he'll carry on and do his school at University of Manitoba, and that's a perfect guy that we'll keep an eye on as his draft year approaches in 2015. So I mean, he's a perfect guy that we want to see how he develops, and then he'll go to that next level, and we'll see where he goes. And I mean, he's a perfect candidate for a guy that can accomplish a lot of great things.
You hear some of the other CFL teams really considering the CJFL and other junior teams?
It's happening more and more, and because guys, and with Ottawa coming back into the league, that's creating more opportunities for more Canadians. So teams are starting to take notice of this kind of arrangement and investment that that the Lions make in junior football, and starting to look at doing it themselves and developing relationships and putting the time in to groom a lot of really good athletes out here.
Can some of the players that are from junior going to BC Lions rookie camp and also main camp, the Stephen Dogies, the Jordan Yenses, can they bypass the special teams route in a CFL team and make crack a defensive spot?
They can. I mean, Stephen's a perfect example where, I mean, that's his ticket in. So a lot of these guys, the special team side thing is their starting point to get in. And once they get in, because the roster size is so small, you have to be able to multitask and multifaceted. So if you can get a guy that can play offense or defense and either play special teams or return kicks or any of that kind of stuff, it just makes you that much more valuable.
You've seen now some of the junior guys be at rookie camp or spring camp or main camp for the Lions. Do they get special attention from the coaches saying, you know, it's okay, try it again, kind of thing?
No, not at all. They once they get out there, they get treated exactly like everybody else. So there's no special treatments. There's no, well, we'll give him a break because he's 21 years of age or 20 years of age. The coaching staff does not care where they are, where they come from, or their age or anything else. They treat the junior guys once they're out there just the exact same as they would a guy out of the American colleges or CIS.
Without giving too much away, you can if you want, names wise. Anybody else on the Lions' radar the next year and the year after?
Yep, and there are guys. I mean, there may be even more things happen this year now that the draft is complete. But this is how the procedure works, and coming out to a spring camp like this is where you start the process to find the next Stephen Dogie or the next Andrew Harris or anything else. So coming out to a camp like this and looking at that 18-year-old player or 19-year-old player or whatever else is a starting point before you're watching them in live action once the season happens in the BCFC.
Lions ever look at a junior broadcaster?
Absolutely. You're hired. You're hired. You're hired.
Thanks for doing this.
No worries. Thanks, Brian.
McLaren from the BC Lions and also the Vice President of the BCFC.